Okay, good evening, and just watched what was an absolutely crazy game, wasn't it? 6 goals, 3-3 game we could have won, probably should have won, could have probably been 4 up at half time if we take the chances. A typical, that for me was a typical Rooney no fear game. People still, I don't think, are quite getting it, how it works. Uh, I was purposely watching at times today. I was watching several players. I was watching Aview. I was watching Bielik. I was looking at how high up we pressed when we attacked. It was quite amazing, really. Quite a few times Aview was in the middle. He left his right-sided spot, so he was sort of, if you want to look at it in a sort of orthodox way, he'd left his position, but he hadn't, because when we attack. At one point, we got, just on a normal attack, we've got 8 men in the Plymouth half. Bielik had gone right through the middle. But, he did, like I was saying on the group yesterday, I thought he'd play Burke or Jukovic because we got no height up front. When we haven't got any height up front, he pushes Bielik up because the only height we've got when we go forward. It's like, and obviously he's in front of the 2 centre halves, so he gets there first. It's hard to sort of get out of people's minds. It's like with the Sanderson mistake. It was a mistake. It was a bad mistake. He lost concentration. But what's going to happen is when we're defending, we're going to be usually defending facing our own goal because we're chasing backwards usually, because we're always going to get hit on the break. That's how it goes with this type of game. We've got eight or 9 men attacking at times. I mean, it's absolutely thrilling to watch. And you can see how good they're getting at it now. I mean, they weren't good at it, but I mean, what I did earlier was I watched the Leeds and Ipswich game. And, like the Leeds are so much better at it than we are, And like their interpassing is slick, it's one touch, they know where each other are. We're not at that level yet, but it's getting there. Some of the passing was great. You could see every time we went forward, with Bakuna, Stansfield was much better today. He's had a better game. JJ had a great game, coming off the left. Dembele, and then Sunic and Bielik in the first half. In possession, we don't have any shape. When we lose possession, we have to take up a fairly normal shape. But if it's on a break, you can't expect them to get back that quickly. So that's when we lose defensive shape. But if the team's in possession in front of us and they're playing it fairly slowly, they're not trying to hit it long, then we got a chance to get into shape, and then we're in shape. And when we were, Bielik and Sunic in the first half were just breaking everything they had going through the middle. They were absolutely dominant in that area. I thought Abu had quite a good game. He's getting forward a little bit now, which was better. He looks a lot more comfortable. How well did Longelo play? I don't think anyone's mentioned him, Had an absolute blinder, Longelo. Man of the match for me was Bakuna. Had an absolute cracker of a game. A little bit lucky with his goal. Keeper fumbled it a bit. Dembele, good game. Again, going left and right. Defenders didn't know where he was coming from, what he was going to do next. Their defence looked absolutely ragged for the first half an hour. We let them in with we let them in with the Sanderson mistake. One of those things. They've got some good forwards, Plymouth. Sanderson just lost concentration for a minute or two. It was just, I thought it was a thrilling game. If you're watching that game and you didn't, you just watch it as a neutral, it was an absolutely thrilling game. It was ruined by some awful refereeing decisions. I mean, seriously, I've had a couple of disagreements with people, only a couple. I mean, seriously, like if you're a Blues fan, after a game like that, don't come on, the first thing you do is slag off players, I mean, I don't think anyone today had a bad game, I honestly don't. So let's forget that. You'd be more, it might be better if someone asked how Lee Buchanan is, which, by the way, is okay. He was taken to hospital. He got a bit of concussion. Hopefully, he's going to be all right for next week. There were questions as well about Stansfield getting booked today. It was actually, had he got booked last week, he would have missed next week. But it was the 20th game today, so it starts a new set of cards. So actually, he's all right. He will be playing. Hopefully, he had a good game and he scored and he created one. I think Mayoshi, when he come on, was a bit sloppy with the ball. But I think we were generally, or anyway, I think we were a little bit sloppy with the ball today. And a few people have asked, why did he take Stansfield off? Stansfield was knackered, that high pressing game takes a lot out of players. But you just got to get used to this thing where, when we attack with 8 or 9 players, don't expect 8 or 9 players then to be able to adopt their normal position straight away, because it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. You've got to get out of your head. I said it on my last podcast. We're not playing hoofball. And I know today the ball went long quite a few times. And I think that was down to, especially when we went down to 10 men, because we couldn't, we couldn't really play through the midfield. We did change when we went down to 10 men. We put a lot of men behind the ball. But when we were playing our normal game, we played out the back. I was watching the Leeds game today, and what Blues don't do, which they've got to start doing, is when one of the centre backs picks the ball up, the two fullbacks go wide, so it stretches the line right across. So any of their players that want to play press have got a long way to run. What we tended to do is get the two centre halves, and the two fullbacks were just, I don't know, like 10 yards in front of them, but not very wide. So it gives, it lets the opposition close you down more. But I think that's going to come as things change. We look so much better in the last couple of games, and it wasn't the result we wanted tonight. I would have been happy with a point, to be honest, before the game. But after the game, I almost feel like we've been robbed really by the referee and by a couple of poor decisions made by our own players. I think in possession, we're looking much better. In possession, we're pushing forward well. We're getting a lot of bodies forward. We absolutely flooded their half. They just looked as if they were going to concede every time we attacked. I had to listen to it on a Plymouth commentary today, and they were very, very complimentary about how Blues attacked. Plymouth just didn't know what they didn't know what hit them. You got 9 men attacking you can't pick them all up. And then one we got to look at is our shape when we're defending, because as soon as they're in possession, then our shape changes. Then we have to try and take on defensive positions, So it's a complicated way of playing, but the players are getting there, aren't they? I really think they are. And I think it was a great performance today. I absolutely brilliant support. When we scored the third, it was absolutely fantastic to see Bakuna go over, and to hear the Blues fans was absolutely fantastic, brilliant, And I think we've got that little thing now where we've got the players, fans, and Rooney together, I think honestly we're starting to just get the measure now of what Rooney wants to do. It's just starting to filter through. And I think it's filtering to the players. I think the players are getting over the shock of it all now. And they're now starting to look as if they want to play for Rooney, don't they? They're absolutely putting their all on the line. Jay Stansfield got booked today, and he's okay for next week. He just missed it by a game, so he won't be suspended. He got a T-shirt actually with once a red, always a red written on it. He's an Exeter supporter, and he showed that to the home fans when the away fans, the Plymouth fans when he scored. Rooney wasn't very pleased about it. Rooney actually said, that they need to show a little bit more discipline when they're playing than to do that. They can't let their emotions get involved with the game. Seems quite hard, doesn't it? But we like to see players with emotions. But I think, to be honest, it's when you start to lose that emotional thing that you can lose control of the game. The Bielik tackle, I've watched it countless times. He got the ball. He didn't go 2 feet, 2 footed off the ground. He got the ball. I think the ref made his decision too fast. He should have took his time. Once he'd made it, there's no going back on it. And nearly everyone that I've heard on the radio, TV, have all said it was harsh. It's never a red. And we'll see what happens. You know, Rooney, to his credit, said that he didn't see it. He hasn't watched it again. But we'll see if Blues appeal it. You know, if they do, then, you know, we'll get that red overturned and it won't be a problem, other than the fact this probably cost us 2 points today, because after that 48 minutes sending off, we didn't look the same team, did we? You know, we defended, I'd like to say we defended well, but we didn't. I think like the Robertson goal was a bit unfortunate. And I think that, you know, Ruddy being beaten on his near post was a bit unfortunate. You know, it just don't, sometimes, you know, when I said that we looked like we were going to score every time we went forward in the first half, honestly, like the last 20 minutes, I was absolutely shitting myself, because I was thinking every time they go forward, they're going to score. You know, it looked like that. But it was a great game to watch. I was a little bit sort of relieved when the final whistle went in. But right to the very death, I was still sure that we could score and break. And that's a great feeling to have in it, even with 10 men, you know. So I'm welcoming, again, I'm welcoming it. I think it's good. You know, let's embrace it. Let's enjoy no fear football. I know we're 18th. We're 9 points off 6th, 7 points off the bottom three. But I don't think we've got too much to worry about if we play like that today. We've got to try and get 3 points, obviously, against Stoke and Bristol City. So that'll be a nice 6. And one today will be 7. And then we've got Leeds. Leeds look extremely good. But you never know, dear. No fear. No fear. All right. So, but I just come on and do it tonight because I just wanted to get it off my chest, really, you know. Christmas Day, don't forget, we got our open home on Christmas Day between 12 and 2. You're more than welcome to come along and say hello to us. It's going to be live. I'm going to put all the numbers out tomorrow, so you can just come and join us on Christmas Day. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be brilliant. And, you know, I hope you guys are ready to come on. If you're feeling a little bit low, if you're on your own, if you're not seeing your kids, anything like that, you feel a bit crap, come and say hello. We're going to have a little bit of a crack. And later on in the afternoon, we've got a couple of little surprises as well if you want to come on and join us again. If you're on your own, you're bored, why not? Better than the telly. Anyway, thanks very much. If you went today, hope you're probably going to be home pretty soon. Hope you get back safe. Have a lovely night. Have an absolutely fantastic Christmas, guys. And thank you so much for supporting us, both on YouTube, you know, 8,000 members on Facebook as well, on BCFC, the project. Please like and share this little podcast that I'm doing now, because your support has been absolutely fantastic this year. We've had a lot of lovely comments made about how the groups run, and but you know, it wouldn't be able to be run like that without you. We're an adult group, you know. We're not a bunch of fucking idiots, you know. So please, a little bit of respect for each other, for the players, for the club. Happy Christmas, and speak to you soon. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, one other thing, just again, don't forget tomorrow, okay? Try and make it tomorrow, not tomorrow, Christmas Day. I'm getting lost in the days here, my God. You know, try and make Christmas Day and come say hello to us. You know what? I'm just going to bring a bottle of vodka at Christmas Day, and I'm going to sit here and we'll have a drink with you. All right.